everyone, welcome to today's episode. This is Relax Podcast brought to you by Rejoice Wamase. In today's episode, we'll be looking at the mind, the will, the emotion, sense of smell, thinking, ability to reason, and the subconscious and the conscious place of your life. And we'll be focusing on your terror barrier. Now, what is a terror barrier? In a layman understanding, it is that thing that's your paradigm has gotten used to. It could be that whenever you wake up, you press your toothpaste from the center or you press it from the bottom. That is your paradigm. It could be that you like your bed being close to the window. It could also be that you like being meticulous about everything that you have. Now, what's your terror barrier? A new thing is coming in to alter that thing. You are used to Y, and then X is coming, and you are saying, this thing is not supposed to be here. You are fighting it in your mind. Who kept this seat here? So normally, me, in a room, I just like in my room, let there be just bed, AC, fan. Let every other thing go inside the wardrobe. I don't want to be seeing this clothes here, this bag here, this one there. Let it just be like that. And then if there has to be an office table, please just keep it at one edge. Maybe that's where, if I want to do my makeup, that's where it will be. And simple. I don't want any other thing. Now I can come in and then maybe someone came to visit me. Then the person, my sister or anybody, is scattering things. Then she takes tea from the kitchen. Then she comes to the bed and she sits down to eat it on the bed. And then she's leaving breadcrumbs. You see the way I'm already sounding because I don't like those things. Please eat in the dining. If you have to eat in the dining or eat in the kitchen. Don't bring it to the room. Don't even sit on the bed to eat. I mean, who does that? Who is serving you breakfast in bed? Do you get? And I'm not saying I cannot serve breakfast in bed, but I'm not married. As in, like, my sister should not be eating in my bed. She has to eat in the kitchen. That's a terror barrier. There are certain rules and regulations that we have set up, established in our mind that when other things are coming to alter it, we tend to fight it. Now, these things happen subconsciously and we have a reflex action. For instance, you drive to a particular place for school run, you take a particular route, and you get to drop your child before you get to work. So early that morning, you forgot that you are not going to school run, that you are going to the hospital. Then you begin to drive, and then only for you to realize, I'm going to the hospital. I'm supposed to take this particular route, but you seen yourself already going through the normal route that you take to drop your children to school. It has gone into your subconscious mind, and then because you now have another thing to do, you have to alter it and then reverse and start going back. So these are things that we have built up over time. It has become our paradigm that we get to find it difficult to embrace change. That is why the word of the Lord said to us that we should renew our mind daily. He said we should not be conformed to this world, but we should be transformed by the renewing of our mind. It means that when we got saved, our spirit was what got saved. Our mind still knows some of the things it used to do in the past. Sometimes the power of imagination, you will be reminded of the things that have been stored up in your memory from the time past. The devil will use that because he knows your weakness. He knows that you used to have such things. Then he will bring it to your mind and start reminding you so you can dwell on it. And you know that it's what you think about that you begin to see yourself express. Out of the abundance of the heart, you even speak. Now, your terror barrier comes to a place where something is coming in to alter a change. For instance, somebody that has been slothful, dirty, and then fortunately they attended a meeting that talks about keeping clean, and they came back and they are wondering, how do I get to clean this house? Like, their mind is fighting it, their spirit is fighting it, like their mind is just fighting it. Okay, where do I start? It's something new, they are not used to it, and then there is war. Or somebody came into your space and, like I was trying to say, start eating on your bed and get your room littered and scattered. Like, you are not used to seeing all those kind of things. You are an arranged person, and then you are struggling to attend to that, and then the next thing you are lashing out. You are unconsciously saying negative things to the person, like because you are trying to express that in your mind this is not how it's supposed to be. That's a terror barrier, and that's a limiting factor, and that's how we have to learn to be conscious. I've prayed this prayer many years ago. I told God that I want to be conscious, I want to be alert, and I want to be awake. I didn't know why I was praying those prayers those times. I realized that I used to do things subconsciously. For instance, having lived with some people growing up, I always assume responsibility over certain things. And once I see those things, I start doing it. I don't even expect anybody to tell me they do this thing or do that thing. Once I come into a place and I see that these things are not right, I'll have to start fixing it. And sometimes people that are not like that, we tend to see that, are you trying to tell me that my house is not organized or I'm not an organized person? And they misunderstand you. That's their own perception about you. That you are trying to say you too do, or you are too clean, or you see. So the perception comes from the place of people's behavior, and in that behavioral pattern, they begin to judge you based on what they are not, and based on who you are that is affecting who they are not. It might be that you are very detailed accountant, you spend your money and you know where every dime went to. You you know everything that you do, you have to give account of it. Other people are not like that. That's why we have different temperaments. I was reading Tim Lahaya book, Spirit Control Temperament. That's where you get to see that there is the place of the Holy Spirit changing a man. It could be that you are a sanguine, you are everywhere, always excited, enthusiastic, have a people's driven mindset, positive mentality. Then you meet a melancholy, too detailed, you can't shift them, very rigid, irritated. You meet a choleric, highly irritated, highly purpose driven, highly focused. When they see a sanguine, they are like, this one is not serious with their life. I better shift. Do you get? Phlegmatic, you take all the time in the world before you make a simple decision. They are like those people that the Bible said, the children of Reuben, there was so much searching of hearts, whether to go forward or to go backward. They hardly take decision. Hey, do you get? So these things are things that happen in our subconscious mind. It comes from traits, genetics, and maybe the things that our parents did many years back that have been transferred into our bloodstream. And it takes a conscious and intentional decision to begin to notice and point out those things that we have been accustomed to live by. It can come from culture and environment as well. And that, okay, and that is something that you have to be able to fight so that your life can be better. We will elaborate more on that on our next episode, but I just like you to Google up what terror barrier is and stop fighting your change. God bless you.